Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and I'm gonna do an episode review. I'm gonna do 2 episode reviews of Hunter x Hunter in one video. Usually I do that to catch up, but in this case I kind of felt like this episode really didn't have much to it, so I feel like doing 2 episodes. I haven't watched the next episode after this, but I'm just saying, this episode didn't really have enough, I feel, for a full review. Because, I mean, it's really just Gon and Killua do another money-making scheme. They learn about different tricks and things that people will try to do to fool appraisers. We meet this guy named Zepile, or Zeppeli, or whatever the fuck you want to call this dude. And, yeah, that's pretty much all of it, up until the ending where Leorio finds, like, Phantom Troop members, and I'm like, oh, fuck, relevance, thank you. Like, maybe all this stuff will come back. I mean, they are going to go to the auction and everything. But it's like they're going around, they're buying stuff, and they're getting all this money or whatever, but they need 8.9 billion, and it doesn't even seem like they're getting anywhere near it when they're throwing out these prices. And even if you do get 8.9 billion, okay, you bid on it, and then it's like someone else bids higher, and then there you go, you lost. So, I mean, maybe something will happen to where they can get really, really good money. Maybe this guy will help them because he did teach them all this stuff. He's their friends now. They have this nice back and forth of questions. They get to know each other. They're acquaintances now. They put their trust in him to go find good shit so they can sell it while they go to fight Phantom Troop members. So, overall, it was a decent episode, I guess. It really all depends on if this stuff is going to come back and be relevant. If this stuff's not going to come back and be relevant, this is a subpar episode of Hunter x Hunter. But if it does come back, it's an okay episode of Hunter x Hunter. So I'm going to give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Like a 5 out of 10 if this stuff doesn't come back. But if it does come back, 6.5. So 2 grades, depending on how things play out. Because I don't want to judge it too early. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that things could come back later with this whole learning how to look at artifacts and everything. You know, maybe Gon will see an artifact and he'll know what to do because of this and it'll be important. So, there you go. That's my review for episode... I was about to say 30. 48. I knew what it was, but I was like... I wanted to say 3, and I was like, no. 48. And I'll be reviewing episode 49 right now, so I'll see you guys in that review right now. Okay, so episode 49. So this was much better than the previous episode, a lot more progression, much more intense and everything, so I definitely like this episode more. So we basically have Hisoka, not Hisoka, whoa, the fuck, Gon, Killua, and Leorio tracking... I do not remember their names. Well, Machi, I believe, but the other dude with the mustache, the samurai sword dude, I don't know his name, but start with an N. But, yeah. They're tracking them. They're kind of in disguise and everything. They're doing their tracking and everything. And it was very funny. There was a really funny scene when they're tracking them. They're up in a building, and Killua says... Just imagine 2 Hisokas sitting at the table, and that's my thumbnail because that shit is funny. It's the best part of the episode. No, it's not, but it's the funniest part of the episode. I thought that was hilarious. Then we've got following them and pursuing them and eventually getting caught. It's very intense too. I like how it's handled with Killua being like, should we follow, should we not? And he's shaky and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's very intense. It makes you very nervous while watching, which is what any good show would do. And then it's like, then it's Trackception, okay? That's the title of the video because they're tracking them and then they're being tracked. So it's tracking while tracking someone and following. It's a Trackception. It's ridiculous. It was awesome though. You got, I believe his name would be Finks, and I think he's the dude. He's like the generic dude in the tracksuit, but then he puts on like that weird thingy sometimes. I don't know. That like thing with like a snake on it or whatever. His name really is Finks, and he wears like the pharaoh thing. Like really, that's his name. Like I thought Franklin looking like Frankenstein was bad, but wow, no. That's a nitpick. It's not even like, I'm not even criticizing. It's just a joke, but whatever. So you got him. That would be another Universal monster, actually. Let me think. Actually, total deviation. Hold on a second. You had Uvojin, who you could say is kind of like a werewolf. You have the mummy dude, Well, that'd be two mummy dudes, actually, because he'd be like a pharaoh. So never mind, there's already like a mummy guy. And then Franklin would be like Frankenstein. Would they have like a Dracula person? Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, that was a total deviation. Yeah, so they get tracked, they get caught. Killua has a brief fight with Sphinx, and Gon pretty much just stands there being nervous. The brief little fight actually had good animation. I liked how it was handled. But they get caught, Killua surrenders, and then they go and they're caught and they get taken to the Phantom Troop base. And Hisoka is there at the moment, so that's going to be interesting to see how things play out from there. The last part that I want to talk about was earlier in the episode, but I figured I'd just talk about it later, get all the stuff about them following them and everything taken care of. So like I said, just to recap real fast, I liked the intensity. It was very nervous. It was very well done, well portrayed and suspenseful. It was well animated when it needed good animation. I liked the twist that they were being tracked as they were tracking Phantom Troop members. That was a nice twist. And they got caught, so that's progression. Now they're going to meet the other Phantom Troop members. So that whole section I thought was really good. So I'm going to give, well, I'm not going to grade it, but, you know, that's good. The last part of the episode, or not last part, but the part that was earlier that I'm talking about last, we get Kurapika and his group again, and we have Neon sitting there, and her dad has arrived, and he says, yeah, the auction's not over, but he doesn't tell that to her. He kind of, like, talks to her and sends her away. She's going to send her home, and then he's like, all right, down to business, grab the cigar, like, you know, get the little girl out of here or whatever. And he says that the auction's still going to go. They haven't intimidated us. We can't show that we're intimidated. We're going to do this. We're going to get the stolen merchandise back. And apparently he hired people to do that, and he wants Kurapika to join those hitmen. And when he's talking about the hitmen, we see Killua's dad and his grandpa. Now, I don't know if that's just like an example of people who are hitmen, or if they actually are the hitmen. But if it is them, that is fantastic. That is so cool to actually see them, because that's, like, I would never expect that in this arc. So if they are going to show up, that's really cool. If they were just being shown as an example of, like, hiring hitmen, that's fine too. But showing them specifically seems odd. So I think they might show up, but I could be wrong. Especially since earlier in the episode, their dad said that hunting Phantom Troop members wasn't worth the money, so he told the family to stay away from them. So that's kind of weird that he would take on this job now. But maybe he doesn't know he's after the Phantom Troop. Probably does, I would imagine. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen next. Both parts of the episode left on pretty decent cliffhangers, you know. Kurapika's going to join these two dudes or whatever. Possibly Killua's dad and grandpa. Gon and Killua are now with the Phantom Troop in their base. Oh, and the other part of the episode, I almost forgot. The boss, their leader, of the Phantom Troop, he knows who Neon is now. He knows her face and everything. And I think he got into a disguise, because we don't see a face for some reason, but it's the same room when he was talking to the pretty boy dude, the dude who looks all nice and happy, but he's, you know, a Phantom Troop member. He was in that room, and then we see a dude putting on like a tie and like a suit. Not like a full suit, but like a, well, maybe he did put on a full suit now that I think about it. I'm not sure. But I remember him putting on a white button-up and a tie for sure. He might have put on another thing to make it a full suit, but anyway, I guess I waited too long to review this episode after watching it, because I didn't record immediately after seeing it. Kind of forgot a few things, but I'm pretty sure I covered all the important stuff. The summary's not the important part, it's the actual review, and like I said, the Soka part's funny, the episode was suspenseful and intense, it was well animated when it needed to be, it's got really good setup, and I really like to see where things are going. So, once again, it's one of those times where you jump from like a 6.5 or a 6 to, you know, what I'm going to give this episode, which is a 7.5, which isn't a huge jump, but I still really enjoyed it. I think it was really well done. I like the setup and everything. But, yeah, you know what? No, 8. Fuck, 8 out of 10. Fuck it. I really liked it. So, yeah, 8 out of 10. And yeah, so 6 out of 10 or 5 out of 10, depending, like I said, and 6 or 5, like I said, depending, and, yeah, 8, so, yeah. Another one of my disorganized reviews where I don't know how to talk, but you know, whatever, it is what it is. So thanks guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys later and tell me what you guys thought. Bye.